Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Learning Live here on May the 9th. We have Alexis. Alexis, I've got you unmuted, so you are live and ready to go. We've got some people tuning in. Everyone say hello. Drop a note. Let us know how you're loving this gorgeous weather that we had today. And Alexis has some fun stuff to share with you. We have a product in the store called Window Overlays by a company called the Papercut. And we think they're super fun. And so Alexis is going to share with you some ideas on how she used these great little die cut pieces. And she's using a really fun paper pack, very springy, very fun paper pack. It's from P13, correct, Alexis?
Yes, it is. There's a camera.
So without further ado, I'm going to let Alexis take it away and share with you her projects using die cut overlays.
Hello, everybody. It is lovely to see you guys, or at least, virtually. So this week's in Learning Live, as Sherry mentioned, I'm using P13, the Have Fun line. I was looking for the front of the paper pack, but I think I cut up a little bit out of it. Oh, there it is. Hello. Duh. There it is. So it's their Have Fun line. I also used some ephemera, and I got these cute little spellbinders. Sorry, I was just looking for the packaging here. The Color Essentials sequins. So I've got them in 2 different colors, and they're super fun. They're nice and flat, which is nice. And they just add a little bit of sparkle to this. So we used 2 different colors of overlays. And I'm just going to grab one of each. There's the other packaging. Okay. So I've got things kind of all over so I could have them easily grabbable, but apparently not. So I got 2 different ones from Jerry. I got the blue raspberry with the circle. And then I got the pink lemonade with the oval. So that we actually in the store have 5 different circles and 5 different ovals, and there's 10 different colors. And what I like about these, so 2 things. 1, they're already done for you, obviously. We all love that. But 2 is that you can grab a bunch of paper, embellishments, and beads if they all coordinate with your paper. And if you're going to a crop, you don't need to bring your die cuts and your dies. So it saves room in your bag too, plus they're flat. And you get quite a few in a pack. You get, I believe it's 10. So, I mean, they're great. I'm actually having a lot of fun with them. So for my samples, I did 4 samples for you guys using the products. And again, too, if you guys have any questions, just pop it in the comments. I'm trying to read it too as I'm going. So if you guys have any questions, stop me and let me know. So
I've got an eye on the comments too, so okay. I've got your back there, Alexis.
Sorry, I'm excited. Can you tell I'm losing my breath because I'm getting so excited to show you guys these? So the ephemera comes with quite a few different pieces. So I've used some in what I have made. You also get quite a few pieces of paper. I think there's 4 sheets of 6 different designs, 24 pieces. And the one thing I do like about P13, which is really nice, is that the front covers you use them. Like it's not plain. So that's the front cover, and then so the back of the paper pad are these beautiful flowers, and I've actually cut one out, and I'll show you how I used it on the card. And I thought these would be good for a layout because they are the Polaroids. Okay, so there is the layout I did. So I incorporated some of the spellbinders Oh my God, I just lost the name of them.
Smooth discs.
Thank you.
It's all good.
30 seconds ago. Anyways, so I used both the pink and the teal. I also used the skates from the ephemera pack, so that's that one there. And it's nice because it's quite large. I used bits of paper I had left over, some thickers, and then what I did with this is I used one of the overlays and I cut it down so it was more of a square, and I'm going to put my photo underneath. So I've got it so I can slip it underneath here once I've decided what photos are going to go on here. Now, I didn't throw this away. I like scraps. So what I did is I used that on this card. So what I did is I layered, and I made layers of different, so your first layer is down, I popped the second layer, I threw some flowers under it so there's some dimension, and then I added more layers and another popped flower. So this is actually quite a thick card, but I think just having the flowers peek out from underneath the overlay is kind of fun. And then I used that extra teal I had left over here.
These would be perfect for Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and you know, it's so and surprising too, because when I saw this paper, I'm like, oh, what am I gonna do? Where are my ideas gonna come from? But as soon as you open up the paper, it's so much fun, and honestly, it's so nostalgic because it's stuff I grew up with. I grew up with those style of rollerblades. I grew up with these colors. There is Sundays, which I thought was really cool. They've got cassette tapes. They have this beautiful paper with the Polaroid and the, oh my gosh, record player. Oh, I almost lost it too. And then they have the old style Polaroids. I thought was fun. And where's the cassette paper? Look at that. Like, how great is that? And they've got some cool sentiments in the paper pack too. So for example, I thought this was kind of fun. I actually made a shaker card with the little bits. And then I put good vibes only with the roller skates and the cute little cassette tape. I thought that was fun. So I'm going to show you guys how I did this really quick shaker card. This is going to be using one of the overlays, one of the bags you would put your card in. I don't know what kind of you would call that, just a cello bag. And then we're going to fill it with some dots and pop dot it and have some fun making one of these so you guys can see the versatility of these, because obviously you know you can use them for photos. I also did this card here. Nothing, I didn't pop anything other than the fact that I used this sort of as like a frame to frame the paper, because I really wanted that paper to pop with the actual sundae. Okay, so I guess if you guys don't have any questions, I will pop right into showing you guys how I made the pop card. Okay, so I'm just going to move everything out of the way so you guys can see.
Time to get crafty.
Exactly. Okay, so I'm going to actually leave that one there. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I had a cello bag that I had hanging around, I guess. So what I did is I grabbed one of the overlays and I put it down. So what I'm doing is I'm just sort of measuring how big I want it to be. So the actual overlay is 3 3/4 of an inch. So I think I'm going to do 3 3/4. Probably by 3 3/4, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over just a little bit. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to cut my cello bag on 2 sides, so 3 3/4. Obviously, you guys can use scissors too. I'm just being super lazy here. Because why do it with a pair of scissors when you can do it with your cutter? All right. Now this would be, if you guys have one of those static bags, to use one of those. And I have one, but I don't know where I put it. Oh, there it is. Hold on one second, guys. My static bag. So I'm just slightly rubbing the floof in there. Okay. And then I'm going to work on top of my overlay because I am going to use tape. So I'm just putting it down, but I don't want it to go into my image. So I'm trying to do this and it's popping up. Okay, I have to do this one off camera. 1 second. It's hard when I'm trying to do it in frame, guys. I apologize. Okay. So I don't want that tape to show through. There we go. Okay. So I'm just going back over and taping that one section that I did really bad the first time. And adding a bit more tape. Okay. So now when I lay it over, you're not going to see that tape through the back. See? Like so. Now comes the fun part.
So basically, you're just making a little pocket with it.
Yep. Yep. I'm cheating the system here. So I just made a little pocket, right? And the reason why I did it this way is so that it would slightly pop open, so I would have an easier time of putting the circles in the bag, because the first time I tried to do it, I got them everywhere. So that's why I did the little fold over here. You can see sort of, there's like a little lip here. It pops it open for me. So I was going to use these roller skates for the back of the card. So I think I'm actually going to do a mixture of both. And I'm just going to put a few in of each. Watch, I'm going to dump that. So we're going to close that. This up. Throw a few little pink ones in there. Oh, quite a few pink ones. This would also be really cute colors for a baby card, by the way. Just saying. All right, so we're going to measure that, and I'm just gonna cut that down just a teensy bit now that I've got it in. So I overcut it so that I would be within the circle. Perfect. Okay, so now it's just the easy part. So I'm not folding over with this one. I'm just taping the top like I normally would. And now it goes on there like that. Now you can either use tape to tape it down just to check to make sure it works. So I'm just going to take two little pieces of tape before I get into making any sort of crazy foam tape part. So I'm just going to take that there like that. And then I'm going to flip that around just to make sure it works the way I want it to. And it does. So there's some nice movement. I'm sorry, I'm probably giving you guys whiplash. But there's some nice movement in there, which is what I wanted. Okay. So then you can take your tape off. Perfect. Okay. So what I'm going to do, and this is where having double-sided tape comes in real handy, is that I'm going to double-sided tape around the scallop to hold that in place. I wouldn't use, because it's a cello bag, I wouldn't necessarily use wet glue or the Easy Runner. You're going to want something that really sticks it down and that it's not going to move. So I'm just putting a couple pieces around the edge. Now, personally, when I'm using the foam tape, I like the 1mm, which is what I use for most of my cards. But for this one, I'm going to use the 2mm because it gives me a bit more room for these to play in. So I'm just going to, I was a little too excited here. Make sure that I'm taping it so that the tape won't show through. So I'm popping that down like this. All right, and then I'm going to grab my tape. And by tape, I mean my foam tape, which I have here. So this is the thicker stuff. The foam dots I have are actually 1mm, and that's usually what I use, but I wanted the extra space, as I mentioned earlier, so this has a bit more free-flowing movement. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put my pop tape on here. So sort of the 4 sections. Now I'm just going to tape right over that cello bag there. I'm going to make sure to get some off of the cello bag though, so it does adhere to the actual paper, because you want it to stay. And then I think for good measure, we'll just put a little bit down here. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So what I wanted to do is I want some of those to show through. Okay, perfect. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab my cutter. Now, the actual overlay, let me serve me correct, is 3 3/4 by 4. That can't be right. By 5, sorry, 3 3/4 by 5. So I'm gonna make this paper be my mat. So if it's 3 3/4 by 5, you can do a mat of 4 inches by 5 1/4, and that will be really nice on your card. So we're gonna put this down here. Now, do I want to do a white card? Yeah, let's do a white card. Okay, so we've got our card base, our paper, and then our quick and easy shaker part that will go through there. And because I want, when all said and done, to be able to see these through the back, because then we're going to decorate the front with the big one, and I'm just going to see what color I like better. I had some pearly paper. Do I want to do purple? Yeah, I think I want to do purple. So this is just some extra cardstock I had that also worked with this paper. And then I think had some flowers here. Let me see where they are here. I'm very big about use everything. Yeah, let's use that. Okay. Just sit down real quick. Okay, so I am going to say, I'm just going to flip this sideways here so I can see what I'm working with. So I got about 1 3/4 of an inch. So if I do, say about 1 1/4, I think will work. I'm just going to grab my purple and my peachy pink. Okay, so 1 1/4. And I'm going to do 1 inch. I got very shaky hands, so I'm trying not to lose my measurement here. Okay. Then I'm going to use this paper. Pick it up. And we're going to do 3/4 of an inch flowers and make sure I've got good flowers. I do. There we go. Okay. So then now this part is just assembling the layers. Perfect. Now I want that to see, what's awesome about these is how quickly that this came together, because making this shaker card, it looks like you put so much effort into it, but because you have the overlays, it's like wham bam, thank you ma'am. And I'm just gonna go a little overboard with the tape here. Do we have any questions about them yet?
Everyone's pretty quiet tonight. We've asked the question, how small does a scrap have to be before you throw it? And Joanne says it depends on the type of paper. Glitter or foil, we try to keep every scrap.
Yep, that is true. What is the smallest scrap of this that I have stored away here? I don't know. I said, like, there's a shiny piece of paper that I kept. Oh, I've got an even smaller one. That's usually until I'm actually done with everything. And then once I'm done doing all of my cards or working with it, it all goes in a bag until I'm like really, really done. And then they get thrown away, mainly because I'm into the ATCs right now and I enjoy doing those. So you need, like, the space you have to work on is like this big. So I use the scraps a lot for that, or for the inside of cards, I like to do little flags. Do I have a sample of one with a flag that I did? I'll see if I can find one, because I'll use all the scraps for that as well. And again, too, if I cut anything off of this, I don't throw it away. It stays in the pile until I'm completely done. All right, so we are going to assemble, and I'm probably going to have to stand back up again for this.
While you're doing that, we have a question from Margaret.
Sure.
She's asking why you didn't use the cutaway from the skate paper. Why did you choose the flowers instead of being matching the background paper?
This one?
Yes.
I don't know. I just kind of like the flowers, especially sort of to tie in the flower on the skate.
It gives a nice contrast of color too.
Yeah. Sorry, standing. This is when you hope no one hits your arm when you're doing this or shakes your table. Okay. There we go. And then this just gets in here to the card. I have fun using different patterns. And I like the contrast of the different patterns. Like, to me, if it's from the same paper line, have fun with them. Like, honestly, there's so much in this pack and so many different things that it's just really fun to play with. And then this guy is going to go right there. Actually, he should probably be pot. Where are my thin ones? There you are. And I'm only just popping the top because I've got so many layers here that I actually need a little pop there to make it look sort of flat. And then there we go. And then you can add some of the flat discs just using your glue or your glue dots. And I'll probably add some in the corner. Something like what I did on this one here. And I just used white glue with that to see how they would hold, and so far, so good.
You could probably use glossy accents to hold them in place too if you needed a stronger glue.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. I have it on the corner of my desk too. So back to the layout, just as a quick piece too, is I used a lot of the scraps that I had for these little flags. So I'll lift that up so you guys can see it just a little bit better. So I use several of the different patterns in this. So the only ones that I added was the sort of peachy pearly paper and this little pink one here, but everything else on here comes from the paper pack. And then again, I just trimmed this down here for the photo. Now, Sherry, did you want me to show anything else? I know that was a short one, just showing you how to make the shaker card.
Well, if you wanted to make another card, you could.
I just knocked one of those off.
We're just at half an hour, so if you wanted to make maybe something similar to that one with the pop-up, that would be cute.
Perfect. Yeah. I can do that. All right, so let's go a little different route and do, I'm going to pick my back of my card as a, do I have one here?
Maybe pick two patterns and we'll let the audience decide.
Yep. I'm going to start with this. And then I have, for pattern-wise, I have, that one was just really cool. Just trying to think of, I did that one, I did that one. I'm just trying to think of what I have to layer underneath. Ooh, that would be kind of cool. Let me see if I've got another piece of that. Should somewhere around here. Okay. This one. Okay. A couple of ideas. So I have the Polaroids. With this, we can have peeking out from underneath of it. I have the, oh Lord help me, cassettes. Then I have the floats. I do have the flowers too. And I've got these, as well as the back piece of the card is unavailable at the moment. Okay, so I have these. Do you guys have any preference to what you want to see popped?
We'll just give it a second in case people are typing in their answer.
Yep, I'm just seeing if I have that back of the card with the flowers. I put it over here and now I can't fit it.
Margaret is asking, is there a paper with the dial phone?
No, that's the only thing that they don't have here. I'll show you guys while you're doing this. So here is, I kept half the paper pack intact so I could show you guys. There's this one. The back of that is the roller skates. Then you have some pinstripes. So the pink behind it is very light pinstriped with the flowers. And then you've got the Sunday floats flowers. Then you've got like this sort of fray. And then this one with the pieces. And on the back of that,
fussy cutting too.
yeah. And then they do have some sentiments, which is nice on this one. And then the pink, almost like the little shells. And then the Polaroids with the cassettes. And that's everything. So it goes back. So it has 4 sets of those papers.
Well, the decision is split. Oh, we got a second one for Polaroids. So let's go with the Polaroids.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So.
Oh, got 3 for Polaroids now.
Oh, perfect.
All right. Done.
Done like dinner. Although I didn't make it tonight. Sorry. Okay, so one more question. So if we're going to do the Polaroids, do you guys want to do the pink or do you guys want me to do the blue? Pink or blue?
Margaret says pink. Oh, we got 3 pink. Let's go with the pink.
Perfect.
Lots of pink.
All right, so for this, I'm actually going to use 2 sizes of the foam tapes. I am going to use the thicker, and I'm also going to use the thinner, and I'm going to explain why. I'm just going to grab my chair and then sit down. Okay, so I am going to grab my Polaroid paper, and I'm going to cut that down to the same size I did before on the other card. So that's 1/4 of an inch different than the overlay. So I'm going to do that as 4 inches. By 5 1/4. I always like the little borders. Okay. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so there is the base of our card, and then we're going to have this on top, and then we're going to layer sort of underneath. So you have to sort of decide under your overlay where you want something to go. So that's usually why I haven't glued anything down at this stage, is that so I can slip things underneath. Actually, maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll fussy cut a flower out too. Where are those flowers? Okay, I'm just thinking that this would look cute on top. So maybe we will fussy cut out a flower to go with this. Okay. So I'm just going to grab the back of the card. So this is the back of the paper pack, sorry, because it comes with these really cool flowers. So I think I'm just going to pick one. I think I'm just going to grab this small one here. And I'm not going to be too crazy with getting too close to it because these other ones have sort of like a white border around it. So I'm just going to do a quick and dirty. Sort of trim around it to get rid of some, mostly all of the white. Oop. And then I can build maybe whatever. Put that there, put some flowers here, and then put this guy on top. There we go. What do you guys think of this? Thumbs up good? Something like this? Now,
Looks good to me.
perfect. Now, it does come with the sentiments. And we can throw a sentiment on there as well. Okay. Oh, there it is. Perfect. Okay, so for doing the Polaroids, why don't we do no bad days? But I'm going to cut it out as a circle. I'm having fun with the fussy cutting, ladies. Once I start, I do not stop. I think not the cleanest circle I have cut, but not too shabby for a quicken. Okay, so if I'm going to do no bad days there, then this guy can move a little bit, I think. All right, hold on. I am just going to put a teensy bit of just to hold this puppy down. 2 seconds while I do this. All right. You go there. You go under here like so. Perfect. You go under there like that. And you will go up there like that. All right, so everyone good with that? We're good. Okay. So we are going to, all right. The middle layer is going to have the white foam tape. And I'm going to put that around all of the edges. Okay. Because this will be the highest layer. And then inside, we are going to use the little ones and do sort of a middle layer. And it will make more sense once you guys see what I've done. Okay, so here we go. So our layout, and then I'm gonna grab my 1mm. Now, one of them is gonna go here. So I'm gonna throw these here. Okay, and then the other one goes in this top one. So we're gonna throw those here. And I'm gonna grab a tiny little baby one and throw him there. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm building layers. So by putting these smaller ones in, I'm in essence sandwiching the cutout, the ephemera, in between 2 sets of pop dots. And then it'll be pop dots. So it'll be up from the bottom and down from the top. So in essence, sandwiched. Okay. I'm going to grab this and this and this. So I'm only taking off the pop dots for the smaller ones. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace, there's a little bit of the pop dot showing through here. Just trim that here. Okay, perfect. All right. So I'm just going to place this here, which is where we had it originally. And then this guy, I had him sitting like so. And I'm just doing this so I can also see through where he's going. And he is going there. So I'm going to need one tiny little pop dot on this side here to keep him up. And then I'm going to pop dot over where I did my other pop dots. I'm also going to pop dot him up. So basically I'm adding a layer in between the overlay and the background paper without actually making a layer. It's like a free floating layer. Okay, I think we're good. So now we just take off all the pop dots and put the back layer on, and we have our floating layer. It's a lot of pop dots, sorry guys. I'm a layer queen, and if I can't, this is how I'm layering tonight. All right. Okay, so I've delayered or taped the pop dots. Now I'm going to stand up and put that down like so. There we go. And make sure that these guys are down. So what's also nice is they will stay, right? So you have, like, you've got a layer here where there's a little bit of a lip, and then you've got a little layer in here. But it gives it a really cool look when stationary, but they've also kind of like floating because they're not quite touching the pink and not quite touching the actual background paper. Okay. There we go. Now, do we want to pop dot that too? You know what? Let's have fun with the layers. Why not?
Foam all the things.
I told you I go crazy for layers. I love it. Now, it's actually going to go on the card, so I can do it slightly off. There. And then let's do this guy here. So now even another layer. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 different layers on this card. And I'm just going to put some adhesive on here and throw this puppy on here. And then you can embellish it further. But we created so much dimension with that overlay by creating those different layers with it. Then we could use these guys to add some extra embellishments to it.
I just love how that was so easy that you didn't need any special tools. You already had everything already either cut or fussy cut, and it just went together so easily.
Yep, that's the benefit of having these overlays, especially when they match the paper so well. I mean, let's be honest, Sherry, you picked a great paper line and overlays to go together. Like, they are amazing together.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, thank you for those great cards, Alexis.
No problem.
If anyone has any other questions, quickly pop them in the comments. Otherwise, we will let you get on with your lovely evening. I love that you can use it for both layouts and cards as well.
Yeah, I really wanted to show it being used on a layout too. And the same thing is that you, with these shaker pieces, you can actually add that to a layer if you wanted as well.
Absolutely.
Like onto, sorry, I said a layer. I meant a layout. You can add it to a layout. Lord help me. And it's only Tuesday.
It's all good. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will be back tomorrow night at 7 for What's New. And I think you guys will like what we have to show you. So make sure you tune in here at 7 on Wednesday.
Woo-hoo.
Thanks so much, Alexis. And everyone have a fantastic week. Good night.
Night, guys.